Hello, everyone. My name is Nick Chandi, and today I'm going to talk about a topic that's very important to the field we work in. For the last 20 years or so, I've been working with all the accountants, CPAs that we know, bookkeepers, small business owners. And we are working on a project that's going to solve a lot of problems in that field. So I'm going to talk about the project and how we are trying to change the world for them. I've been working with them for almost 20 years. At PayPie, we have a few projects. They're all related to accounting domain. Some are touching, some aspects are touching on the fintech side. And the other one, the most important one, is we call it single ledger. It's a project where we connect different accounting systems. I'm also a co-founder of SlickPie. It's an online accounting solution used by almost 20,000 businesses all across the world. It's like a QuickBooks Online or FreshBooks or Cashew that you might be aware of. And most of our clients, they are all accounting firms or CPAs, do those kind of, so that's why all the work we have done is related to that domain. But why we are so interested in this technology? We are very interested because we believe we can build something that can be based on the value of zero trust. So we don't need to trust anyone. I know there's a lot of hype around Bitcoin, but we know it's just one of the use case. But we are looking at from a totally different angle. Some of our clients, when we go and talk to them, they think blockchain is some kind of accounting system. And we have been telling them, teaching them that this is not an accounting system. This is not an ERP or entry-level accounting system. There are no debits or credits in it. And yes, you can have some logs, but that's it. But you can't build complex P&L, profit and loss statement, or balance sheet, or those kind of things. And the other perception they have is that it's not owned by anyone. And as some of you may know, how many people think they are expert in blockchain here, first of all? No? Okay. So, well, that helps me to change the topic a bit here. Okay, one of the perception they have is it's not owned by anyone. And, so a bit of learning is there for them too. And other thing that even I used to believe till 3 years ago is it's not transparent. It's used by scammers or people who ask for Bitcoin. Even I got an email today that my email got hacked and I need to pay $700 in Bitcoin. Industry we operate in, we believe almost 10% of global GDP on the blockchain. And I know till last year when I used to talk about blockchain, we used to talk about block and algorithm, all those kind of things. But two aspects are very important that are related to accounting. First is the cryptography, and a feature that's very interesting to us because it has enabled us to secure a transaction that's happening between two parties. If we read the white paper of Bitcoin, that's at the core of it, and we have been able to extend it using some development. Other thing is a smart contract where we are able to write piece of code so where we can embed terms and conditions, payment terms, delivery terms, all those sort of things in our smart contracts. Good thing is now we see there are a lot of small courses, private courses, or online training is available on the blockchain. It wasn't available almost 6 months ago. We in our project, we have divided blockchain into only two parts. First is the private one, like Bitcoin or Ethereum, uh, the one that use proof of work. It's a waste of energy, as we know. But we are more interested in the permission blockchain. There are some examples like Ripple, used by banks. They're trying to solve the problem of wire payments, so that if you need to send some money from Canada to China, let's say, and it takes 5 days, 10 days, but with Ripple is trying to do in minutes or seconds kind of thing. Code R3, we have seen banks are also using them, but most of the work is related to their internal transactions. IBM has taken a lead, especially on the consortium front, and their Hyperledger. I was looking on a project online last week, and there are a lot of projects that are being developed. Some are on the POC stage, some are on the pilot stage, like a food trust. They're trying to bring Walmart or Unilever, Tyson Food, all those players on a consortium. And I believe that's where the most of the value would be created. I know public blockchain or crypto, they have their own use cases, but I believe in a business world, most of the value would be created through consortium models, where banks are working together to solve a problem. Companies are working together to solve a problem. Those kind of solutions, they will change. They will change the world. I know it's a very difficult problem because how do you work with a company who is your competitors, and you know that use case is there, benefits are there, efficiencies are there, but how do you work with them? So it's a kind of social problem or a business problem that we will need to solve. But that's where once we solve that problem, it's going to create a network effect, and that's where the most of the value would be created. We see all the big names like Google, Amazon, all these companies, they are working on it, and I have seen most of their work, it's on developing the user interfaces or providing the infrastructure, all those kind of things. They are not necessarily developing the core blockchain. We have seen the big four accounting firms, KPMG or Deloitte, all of them, they have dedicated blockchain teams. Most of their work is auditing the blockchain data or providing services for the ICO companies, doing those kind of things. But banks and insurance companies or shipping companies, they believe they have most to gain from the blockchain because they have teams and teams of people who are engaged in doing the reconciliation on a daily basis. So they are going to save tons of manpower, and that's why they are spending a lot of time and resources on it. In our single ledger, we looked at what and why we are interested in, and immutability, so that any accounting data that's entered, it should be permanent, it shouldn't be changed, and if it's changed, there has to be some proof. Decentralized, no one has a control, and this has their own benefit. Great idea, but we still have to see more use cases except those tokens that we see all the time. Consensus mechanism. So how do you decide, how you validate a transaction? How do you prove it before it's accepted on the blockchain? It's one of the greatest idea. That's the thing that makes blockchain very important for us. And it's a weakness too, because it causes all other kind of problems like scalability or slowness or those kind of issues. And we when we talk to our clients, we tell them it's very close to the cloud services they already use, like Salesforce or QuickBooks Online or Xero, those kind of services. Because any settlement that happens there, that can be real time. And that's how they get it, they understand, they get a bit of idea how it's going to work for them. So this is the current state of accounting systems. They are silo. They don't talk to each other. If you are in one accounting system, you create an invoice and you send to your service provider, and they receive it and they need to make a payment. So once they receive it, they have to enter it in their accounting system. In our company at Welcome Networks and the other company that I'm co-founder of, our bookkeeper, she comes once a day in a week. And she spent 3-4 hours entering all those bills and receipts that we get from Shaw or cleaning company or other providers. So she spent 3-4 hours entering all those data that was originally entered by the company one. So that's what we see there today. And if you look at the data, there are almost 400 billion invoices and bills are created in 1 year. That's a huge amount. And out of that, 36 billions are online. There are some offline solution as well, but 36 billion, still it's a big number. And other thing in all the accounting systems, what we have to see is, what we have to enter any expense or any income that we receive, we have to categorize it to an account. So whether it's a furniture expense or whether it's a sales income or whether it's a commission, all those kind of categories. I know there are solutions based on machine learning and AI, but they are not good enough because they are not designed for accounting systems. So there was a study and it says almost 1/3 of invoices, they have incorrect data. And if there are incorrect data, those invoices, they go in exception, then you have to call them, follow up with them, and that's a waste of time. And a lot of time you must have heard, or if you have a business, you must have heard, oh, I didn't get the invoice. All those kind of problem. Almost 8% people complain that this is they never got the invoice. So how we are solving this problem? we developed this, we call it single ledger, and we are connecting all the accounting systems in the world. We have our own accounting system, SlickPie. So the way it works is for every business who is using an online accounting system, we are giving them a global digital ID. So we know that this invoice came from QuickBooks for a company named ABC Plumbing, and it was gone for, let's say, in SlickPie for a company named XYZ. So think about an ecosystem or consortium where millions of businesses are able to send and receive their invoices automatically. And biggest problem today is why we are not able to do the same thing without blockchain. Because through blockchain, we can prove the authenticity of the origin of the data. We can prove that this invoice was originated from this accounting system. It's not possible without blockchain. So we are able to do it. And we can ensure that all the invoices would be delivered and they would be in real time. And the best thing is we can do is based on permissioned access. So if you need to share your data with your auditor, you can assign them permissions. If you need to share information with your bank, your lenders, tax authorities, you should be able to do it. And other benefits that's going to make it even more powerful are smart contracts, because we can document a lot of information, the parties in the transactions, any kind of agreement, when the payment would be released. All those kind of things we can hard code in a smart contracts. So there's no need to call your client that you're missing the payment, or could you please send me the payment, we need money. All those kind of things would be the problem of the past, because blockchain will, or smart contract will take care of all those kind of things. One of the biggest problem in accounting systems today is that you can't ensure the data is correct. We call it garbage in, garbage out problem. So you can enter any data and you can cook your books, and that's why we see some fraud or past stories of fraud in case of Enron and other companies, because you can cook your books. But if I'm sending you an invoice, you have to click on a button to approve it, so it means that there was a transaction between you and me. So we are solving this problem, and we believe there would be other use cases will be too, like real-time inventory recording or ordering of the items that can be done through our systems. And it's going to do the heavy lifting of bookkeeping. Most accountants, especially during the tax season, they spend a lot of time following up with their clients, asking them for documents or receipts, or all those kind of, or agreements, all those kind of things. And once they get them, then they organize them, then entering them in their accounting system. It takes a lot of time. So we're going to put end of all that data entry effort. So it's going to do a lot of heavy lifting, and I believe it's going to impact the job of bookkeepers. The job profile would change, or it will change. So we'll see how it goes. Reconciliation. Reconciliation is a process that every business they have to do. They have to reconcile their books either internally or with the bank, so that they see what's showing up in their accounting books match with the money in the bank. And all those kind of things can be done automatically once these companies are on the blockchain or connected through blockchain. Audits, So when trusted information is there, auditors can see where the information came from, or who are the parties of any transaction. All those kind of things, they will be automated. And I believe we have an app marketplace as part of our system that we are developing, and we believe there would be new use cases and new tools would be developed for auditors. Like currently in a traditional accounting system, there are tools like MindBridge. They can automatically go and look at all the transactions, and through machine learning, they can find the exceptions and make rules to clear them automatically as well. And we believe once they're part of single ledger, all those things will be automated too. Think about a situation where Thales or Dell. Dell is a hardware company. If they're also, let's say they are part of a consortium like this one, we connect to their accounting system, and they're also part of a single ledger. So if they're part of single ledger, then let's say there are 20 companies, other companies that deal with Dell. They will see this blockchain ID. They know this is a company for which we need to do some kind of depreciation because it's a hardware, based on the country, like in Canada or in some countries, there are rules like 3 years. You have to do 3 years depreciation or 5 years. So all those kind of rule placement or automatic adjustment, all those kind of things can be automated as well. It's going to take the AI to a totally different level. It's going to change the way we do business, because currently we look at the closed, isolated system. Now we're looking at a data that's coming from a collaborated environment, and that's more accurate. So for sure, once we have it, there will be deep data integration available. And I was speaking at an event for CPAs 2 weeks ago, and one of the questions I saw, especially in the old generation, how it's going to impact our job. That was the question among CPAs. And my answer is it's not going to, it's just a tool for them. Yes, they might have to learn a bit more, but it's just a tool like Microsoft Excel or Outlook or those kind of things. It's going to help them to do their job better, but it's not going to replace them or something like that. So blockchain is so good, but why, what challenges that we think we're going to face? I talk about the social challenge that comes with the consortium models. It's not our problem, it's a problem for everyone. It's a change of mindset. How do you work with the other company who's competing for the same business? And we know on the Ethereum apps, I haven't seen very active Ethereum apps. Yes, there are hundreds, maybe 1,000 users, but that's it, and we'll see how other new updates like Casper and Plasma, those come out. We still have to see, and I don't see they are very close. And that's a huge concern for us and many other blockchain companies as well. Transaction fee, at the hype of last year, we did some Bitcoin transactions and it was costing us around $60 to $70 that time. And that's very expensive. I know the price has come down, but still, it's a hurdle that we see. Other concern we get from our clients is it hackable? Or the reality is we haven't seen any big blockchain being hacked so far. They are big concern about how do you secure your private keys or data or those kind of things. I know solutions are being built, and I believe we should see some new updates pretty soon in the next 6 months or so. Okay, and this is some demo that we did there to show to those CPA accountants. And what we feel, I know crypto is there, but we believe the blockchain is here to stay. In the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to see big solution that's going to change the world. It's going to change the way we do business, especially in our case, we deal with accounting softwares, and we believe that's going to make a huge impact. And we believe with time there would be new business models that will be developed, and we'll see how it goes. Yes, now I would be happy to answer any questions you might have. Yes.
How does the native token to these blockchains work? You're storing accounting information. Does an incentive point come into play?
So the way it works is we built this one on the Hyperledger fabric, and then we are anchoring it to Ethereum. We are not using any internal token yet. The way it works is we open a secure channel between two parties that are doing the transaction, because no one wants to expose their financial data. So it's very important for us that no one can see it unless you have permission. So the transaction stays secure between two parties, only they can see it, and it happens without token. Yes, we have planned some use of the token in future, because we believe we can use the same platform to enable payments between business, so B2B payments, and that can be done, but that's for future. Our plan is to do it through a stable token, but we are not doing it at this stage. That's the future plan. So if we have a stable token, we can bypass banks. We don't need credit card. A business can pay other business automatically using a stable token. but we are not there yet. Thank you.